Good morning, everyone. Tuesday morning, 9:15, right here. Bitachon, trust in Hashem, certainty in Hashem, from the Chovot HaLevavot, smack in the middle of Perek Gimel, chapter 3. And we read as follows, in continuation from yesterday. We talked about the fact that a person has to realize and has to understand that in order to have proper bitachon in Hashem, you need to fulfill the mitzvahs of Hashem. Because if there's missing in the fulfillment of the mitzvahs, then the bitachon, the trust in Hashem, is incomplete. We continue the next paragraph, which begins v'ka'asher. V'ka'asher nistakel b'tzorech ha'adam. When we will contemplate and look into the subject of a person, that even though a person needs to activate other causes in order to achieve that which a person needs, it will become clear so if somebody has food in front of them, but if he doesn't pick up the food with his hand or with a spoon and to chew it, he will still remain hungry. And the same thing as someone which is thirsty. If he's not going to pick up the cup, or as they say a phrase, if you're not going to take if the horse is not going to bend down and drink from the water, it's going to remain thirsty. So you can bring the horse to the water or to the river, but at the end of the day, it needs to bend down its head and to drink the water. By a human being, it's on a similar note that you have to do some kind of act. In other words, what the Chovot HaLevavot is saying is as follows. When it comes to bitachon in Hashem, we trust in Hashem. So there has to be a healthy balance between trusting in Hashem and our own efforts. What does that mean? Hashem created us in this world. As far as the neshama is concerned, the neshama is totally dependent and the neshama is totally reliant on Hashem. But as far as the body is concerned, because we're created over here in this world, the body has to make a keli, has to make a vessel. Okay, so if the body needs to make a vessel, so which one? Is it either or? Either you put your entire trust in Hashem, or you make a vessel. The answer is you have to have a balance. And the truth is that David HaMelech says this in Tehillim chapter 55. He says, Hashlech al Hashem yahavcha. Throw upon Hashem your problems. V'hu yichal kalecha. And He will take care of you. He will sustain you. So what does that sound like? You can sit back, twiddle your thumbs, take a suntan, and just trust in Hashem, and everything will work out. But in Chassidus, is something fascinating. If you look at the word Yichal Kalecha, the final word that we quoted, it doesn't only mean He will sustain you, He'll give you food. In the word Yichal Kalecha, you have the word Kli, the short word Kli, a vessel, which means that it's not enough to throw upon Hashem, so to speak, in a positive sense, of course, to throw all of your concerns and worries on Hashem, and Hashem will take care of you. It's not enough. He will sustain you through the fact that you will make a kli, that you will make a vessel. So this is what we started discussing, is that at some stage we need to learn the healthy balance between trust in Hashem and between our making a vessel, a keli for Hashem's bracha. So whether it means that you go to work, you don't have to go overboard and work around the clock, but work regular business hours, 9 to 5, and Hashem will give you the bracha. Or it means if you're trying to help someone out, so you're helping someone out, of course, you have to do whatever you can. But in every situation, we have to balance between, number one, having trust in Hashem, and number two, also making a keli on the side. I'll give you an example. Just a couple of weeks ago, we learned about Yosef HaTzadik, that he was in the house of Potiphar, and unfortunately, he was accused of rape with with Eshet Potiphar, Potiphar's wife, and he was thrown into jail. And then he met the minister of the butler and the baker of the king, two ministers. And he noticed that they had a dream, and he interpreted their dream, and he said that the baker is going to be killed, and that's what happened. And the butler, he said, don't forget to mention me to remind Paro that I'm here. So it says that he was punished for an extra 2 years to be in jail because he should have had trust in Hashem. He basically reminded the guy twice. So the famous question is, what do you want from him? He's a prisoner, and he trusted in Hashem, but he had to make a keli. He had to make a vessel. He had to do his hishtadlut, his effort. He had to make an effort, and by approaching, requesting from the butler to go to Paro, that's what do we? How can we keep a grudge and to give him a punishment that he should be there for an extra? And the answer is that you have to make a keli, but don't overdo it. Twice was too much. You should have just mentioned once, and that's it. There's another point to this, that every person is different. Some people we expected them to have a greater level of bitachon. Let's say, for example, 70%, and only 30% to make a keli, make a vessel. And for some people, we expect 90% bitachon. And for some people, we expect 10% bitachon. But it has to be there. The bitachon has to be there. So every person in every situation has to try to stop and say, am I overdoing it? Am I underdoing it? Should I have more bitachon? Should I make a greater keli? If you're not sure yourself, then you need to consult with Asel Harav, with your mashpia, with your mentor, or with your friend, Knei Lecha Chaver, someone who appreciates, someone who you know is connected to you. But this is the point that the Chovot HaLevavot on, we have to have bitachon, bitachon, bitachon and Hashem. On the other hand, take the spoon and fork and put the food into your mouth. It's not going to get to your mouth. You have to find some way to bring it closer to your mouth, unless you act like an animal. You put your face right into the plate. It's pretty gross. But whatever, the point hopefully is clear. Let's continue. The kol in, and how much more so, im yimana hamachal mimenu, that a person has to do more ishtadlut. If the food is not prepared, Ad sheyidgalgel letakno betchina v'lisha v'afya b'adom alazeh. If it's raw or uncooked or unbaked, you definitely need the dough, and so on and so forth. Grind the wheat in order that it should become flour. And so the idea is that there has to be preparation. There has to be an effort which is put into it, whether it's preparing the food or bringing the food closer to your mouth. It's not enough just to say, "Oh, Hashem, Hashem, Hashem is going to bring the food." The yoter gilgul mizeh kashe. Sometimes you need to have even a greater level of preparation and making a keli, making a vessel. Sometimes you'll have to purchase the stuff. You'll have to peel the stuff, whatever it is. But you'll have to make also another step of an effort in order to prepare this specific food. And let's even go to a further step. Let's say a person doesn't even have the money, unfortunately, yet to buy what he needs. So he has to go work. He has to seek the money. Then he would need to have even more of an effort than what he needed earlier. Whatever he needs. So sometimes the effort will be minimal. Just take the spoon. Everything was bought for you already. You just have to pick up the spoon and put the food in your mouth. Sometimes the effort is greater. But in every situation, a person has to make the decision in that specific subject, that specific challenge that he's going through. What do I have to do in order to, in this case, to eat or to seek my goal? And this story can be told 100 times. Rabbi Zusha, after davening, the great tzaddik, the friend of the Alter Rebbe, that lived around 220 years ago, the brother of Rabbi Elimelech, Rabbi Zusha, every morning he used to, after davening, he used to say, "Hashem, please give me my food." And Rabbi Zusha's Gabbai would bring him a platter of prepared food and put it right in front of the Rebbe. This Gabbai had a little bit of chutzpah, and one morning he said to himself, "One second, where does the Rebbe think he's getting his food from?" He said it to himself, as if there's some angel that comes down. I'm making the effort. I'm working hard. I'm going to this morning. I am going to hold. I'm not going to bring the Rebbe his food, and we'll see. Let's see. He's going to turn to Hashem. Let's see who's going to bring him his food. That morning, there was another person in the town of Anipali, and his son had received a bracha from Rabbi Zusha. So he turned to his son and said, "Did you have a hakarat tov? Did you show your appreciation to the Rebbe for the bracha that he gave you? It would be a very nice idea to prepare a meal for the Rebbe." And as the Rebbe turns to Hashem that morning and says, he lifts his hands up to Hashem, "Hashem, please bring me my food. Please sustain me." This young boy comes in with his father, and they bring in a special meal for the Rebbe. And at that point, the Gabbai, of course, saw that the Rebbe is a tzaddik. He had pure trust, pure bitachon and emunah in Hashem, and Hashem literally sustains every person. So what are we saying over here? What we're saying is that everyone does the effort, what's expected of them. A tzaddik has a greater level of emunah and bitachon, a greater connection to Hashem, and Hashem takes care. For regular people like you and I, we need to make more of an effort. But nevertheless, we have to work on ourselves to have more bitachon. By learning Chovot HaLevavot, this beautiful sefer, hopefully this will instill within us the great level of bitachon, and the more bitachon we have, the more it becomes real. Because for us, as human beings, our body is quote-unquote real. Material seems somewhat lofty. You could understand us. This is how we. This is how Hashem made us. Nonetheless, it's a constant challenge, constant struggle for us to elevate ourselves, that we should be less dependent on our materialism and more dependent on Hashem. After all, Hashem is the one who created us, as we learned to great length, and we're going to learn more soon, tomorrow, Bezrat Hashem, and in the coming weeks, about how we can uplift ourselves instead of being too much dependent on our materialistic atmosphere around us. We should be more reliant on Hashem, because ultimately the bitachon in Hashem, that's what keeps a yid going, as we learned in the introduction for this course. Tracht gut, vet sein gut. Think good, it will be good. Tachshov tov, yeh tov. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for Deraya and Mordechai for broadcasting this year to all of us. Now we're back onto Zoom and Facebook Live, Baruch Hashem. And also, tonight, we invite everybody to start learning about Purim, a new mimer. As you may have seen the advertisement in the WhatsApps. If not yet, you'll see it hopefully soon. We'll be learning in person. I look forward to seeing everybody. Please share at least with one friend, so we'll have more and more people that will be able to learn with us. And if you want to have a sefer, please tell me as soon as possible so I can order one. Hopefully we'll have it for tonight. It's the same sefer. If you learned with us Chanukah, the Chanukah mimer, you can continue. It's the same mimer that we're going to continue. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. All the best.